Joining me from Florida is Secretary Hillary Clinton, and from Colorado, Donald Trump. How are you both doing this week?
Really, really great, Erin. They're all still buying it.
Yep, it has been a great week for me, too. My fave part was when I lost that big, huge lead I have.
Okay, well, let's get to what's obviously the big story of the week.
Please pay his taxes, please pay his taxes, please pay his taxes.
Secretary Clinton's emails.
Okay.
And I read that Krispy Kreme is giving out free donuts to anyone who shows their I voted sticker. That's right, Krispy Kreme. So that way you can make 2 decisions you're not really proud of. You go ahead.
She's also holding a massive rally Monday night with what they're calling an Avengers lineup of President Obama, Michelle, Bill Clinton, and Joe Biden. But if you're Hillary, maybe don't call them the Avengers, because it just makes us think about which Avenger Hillary is. And girl, you Hawkeye.
But if you're voting here in New York, you should listen to this. I read that ballot selfies are banned here in New York City for Election Day. So I guess that means Anthony Weiner won't be voting this year.
Headlines and punchlines from over the weekend here on America Talks Live Hour 2. Let's go back to the phones now at 1-877-Newsmax. That's 1-877-639-7629 to Carmel, New York for Teresa. Hi, Teresa.
Hi.
What's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind, that gentleman was talking about all the money that the foundation gives. Does that include the money that was given for Chelsea's wedding and the decade worth of money that went to her?
Yeah, you know, it's worth pointing out in that report, as I pointed out to that Democratic consultant who joined us, we're very pleased to have him, it appears now a good chunk of that change went to Chelsea's wedding. It also appears there was direct quid pro quo, I believe $1 million payment, I want to say, from Qatar to former President Clinton. And let's not forget the $12 million from Morocco, based on a speech that Hillary Clinton was supposed to give there. And what happens to that money? Very curious and good questions worth remembering as we head into Election Day, Teresa. We thank you for your thoughts. Now, we garnered some other thoughts over the weekend as Newsmax TV visited an early voting location in the critical swing state of Florida. Here's what some of those early voters had to say.
For all of our sakes, I really hope to God that Trump wins this election.
I am a Democrat.
Donald Trump.
I think Hillary.
Obviously, I'm for Hillary.
I think he's going to get rid of ISIS completely, and that is the #1 issue for me.
I think we have to be vigilant about who we let in the country.
I think this campaign has been more negative than what we've seen in the past.
She said, he said, you know, just personal stuff.
A lot more slander.
The real issue to me is how a potential presidential candidate can be as abrasive as he has been.
Everything from the emails from point A to point Z is unacceptable to me.
She has some issues with the email, with honesty, but at the same time, if you go back down 30 years ago, you know, she done a lot of great work. I know some people got problem with Hillary because of after the earthquake, you know, so some of the money, they say nobody know about what happened with the money, but at the same time, before the earthquake, Hillary had done a lot of good jobs.
It would seem that the media would want to tell both sides of a story, but apparently they're not doing that.
I hope the next president be one of the women out here so that we can be represented.
Part of me wants him to win for the simple fact that I know he's going to mess up everything Obama's worked hard to do, and as childish as that might sound, I just want to rub it into those people's faces that supported this idiot.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you right now it's not going to be good. There's going to be chaos.
I think we have to strap in, and even Rome fell.
Even Rome fell. Not exactly a message for Election Day, is it? Well, maybe so, because you take a look at all the concerns, including cybersecurity breaches that have already transpired and others that may be about to transpire. To talk about that, we're pleased to welcome in Truman National Security Project Fellow Sarah Granger. Sarah joins us via Skype from Silicon Valley. She is the author of the book, The Digital Mystique, How the Culture of Connectivity Can Empower Your Life Online and Off. Sarah, we really appreciate your time here on America Talks Live. Now, there are growing concerns regarding Election Day hacking. And it seems to have become a talking point with the Democrats. Their vice presidential nominee, Tim Kaine, says it's all Russia's fault. Let's look and listen.
The government of another nation, Russia, is trying to interfere and influence an American election. And Donald Trump has got all these weird connections with Russia.
So trying to cast a doubt on Donald Trump and these alleged connections with Russia, but to the point about Russia being responsible for some of what's gone on, is that plausible? Your take on that, Sarah?
It's absolutely plausible, but we don't have a lot of actors that can really take on this kind of large-scale responsibility. So Russia is one of the top contenders for being able to have those capabilities. But luckily, we know about this. We're well informed. We're well prepared.
Well, you know, the Homeland Security earlier this year was talking about getting involved to back up these systems. And of course, in terms of our system of federalism, voting and the different rules and regulations are decided state by state. On the other hand, you got Donald Trump out there. We heard Tim Kaine earlier. Mr. Trump continues to talk about a rigged system fueled by voter fraud and other irregularities. Let's look and listen to Mr. Trump on the stump. Sarah?
So we're one day away from the change you've been waiting for your entire life. You got to get out and vote. Get out and vote. We got a rigged system, folks. Get out and vote. Be very careful. Get out there.
And Sarah, some people may say, well, that's just rhetorical embellishment, but yet you take a look at voter registration databases. For example, in North Carolina, a judge has stepped in trying to ensure that thousands of people can vote even if they're no longer residents. That judge ordered nearly 4,000 voter registrations put back on the rolls, even though mailing to the addresses offered by these voters was undeliverable. You can see in the good, really apart from computers, in the good old-fashioned system that there are concerns about rigging.
There are concerns. We have a lot of potential problems. As a technologist, I focus on the ones that I understand. And so the things that we can look for are websites that go down, voter database irregularities, grid problems. We could, if somebody took down our transit systems, electronic voting machines, and then we have online voting for a limited few that is very ripe for opportunity. But luckily, there's a lot that we can do about these potential problems. We have backups, voter databases. We can print. If anyone doesn't have your ballot information printed, please print it. We can request paper ballots, and then we can report anything suspicious. There's a site called Election Land that's a great place to do that.
Okay, now again, if people are concerned, let's go over that website one more time, Sarah. It's called what now?
It's Election Land. It's a partnership with ProPublica, USA Today, Google, and many others, including radio stations and TV stations. So a lot of media organizations working together to collaborate and collect any data. It's the website's ProPublica website, but you can search Election Land.
Good, we'll do so. We'll do so, but we were getting phone calls, Sarah. Let's go to Landover Hills, Maryland. James is on the line. James, we've got a couple of minutes. State your concerns. We'll let Sarah address them. Go right ahead, sir.
Okay, JD, let me talk to the young lady there. Ma'am, I have a good question. Now, how come nobody has done an investigative report about George Soros owning these voting machines? And also, you also said just now that the machines are not fallible. They are fallible. They're hooked up to the electrical grid, are they not?
The concern about voting machines and the Soros investment in that UK-based company, should people be concerned in your opinion, Sarah?
Well, we have voting machines that come from all different places and sources and sold by different companies. I just tell people, if you're concerned, get a paper ballot. Because there have certainly been cases where voting machines have been hacked in trial situations, but we have no evidence that it's ever happened in an actual election.
So again, it's the notion of back to basics, and I know as an early voter, I filled out a paper ballot. If there's any concern whatsoever about machines, People, it is within their inherent right, regardless of the state, the municipality, the electoral authority, to ask, indeed demand, a paper ballot. And that would be the best advice. Sarah, there is so much to talk about. Our time grows short, but we thank you for Skyping in from Silicon Valley, and perhaps after this, or dare we say in the midst of it, we may be calling on you again. Sarah Granger, thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Thanks very much. Well, there are a lot of questions heading into tomorrow, and maybe some of those questions will be answered as we bring you our election coverage. Coming up, a prime preview, Ed Berliner on what's going on in North Carolina. And when we come back, this day in history, and that ancient Vulcan proverb, only Nixon could go to China. You might be hip to Star Trek lore about that. You're watching America Talks Live Hour 2. Back with more after this.